नाम श्रेष्ठं मनमपि शचीपुत्रम् अत्र स्वरूपम् रूपं तस्याग्रजामुरिपुरीं मातुरीं गोष्ठवाहतिं राधाकुन्दमगिरिवनम् राधिका प्रप्तो यस्य प्रथितकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः आनन्दलीलमाय विग्रहाय हेमवद्यव्यच्छाविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते भक्त्या विना अपराधलक्ष्ये चित्तच्युतारितं पवति कृपामयितं शरणं प्रपन्नं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं गोविन्द दामोदरं मानवेति गोविन्द दामोदरं मानवेति गोविन्द दामोदरं मानवेति गोविन्द दामोदरं मानवेति हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति गोविन्द दामोदरं मानवेति श्याम सुन्दर शिखंड शिखर स्मरहासु मुरली मनोहरा राधिका रसिक मम कृपनिधे स्वप्रिय चरण किंकरीं कुरु तवैवस्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी तं नमामि चरणान्तिकम्. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual guru, Asmadeya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satashisimad, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vancha Kalpatarupasta Kripa Sindhu. For the benefit of all living entities, the Supreme Lord, Taned Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Bhuyanti Yatsura, He inspired the Vedas into the heart of Lord Brahma. The Vedas are a vast body of knowledge, and to become expert in 1, 2, 3 or all 4 Vedas takes a very long time. Even then, there is no guarantee that one will be able to extract the essence of Vedic knowledge. On the other hand, in Padma Purana, there it is said, Rig Vedo hi Yajurveda Samavedo Pyatavana Aditasthena Yenuktam Hari Ityaksharadvayam. A person is to be understood that they have completed their study of the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Samaveda and the Atharva Veda, if they simply utter the 2 syllables, Ha Hari. That's it. All Vedic studies complete. Congratulations on your diploma and graduation. Hari. All Vedic studies are now complete. How is it possible? The holy name is the essence of all the Vedas. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with his spiritual master, Srila Ishvara Puripad gave him this Maha Mantra, and he began to chant. Kiba mantra dili gosai, kiba tarbal, jopite japite mantra koile pagal. Afterwards he said, "Oh Gurudev, what kind of mantra did you give to me? I was repeating it again and again, and now I became pagal, like a mad person. Sometimes I am laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes dancing, sometimes shouting, running here and there, rolling on the ground." His Gurudev said, "Oh, this is natural. Krishna Nama Mahamantra Eito Swabhav Jai Japi Tare Krishna Upajaya Bhav." Krishna Nama Mahamantra Eito Swabhav. Swabhav means nature. It is the very nature of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If one simply repeats the syllables of the holy name, then Jare Jape Tare Krishna Upajay Bhav. There is an awakening in the heart of Bhav. That means ecstatic love. The heart becomes soft and melts and becomes overwhelmed with intense hankering. Krishna, where are you? Krishna, where are you? How can I find you? How can I serve you? How can I please you? How can I have the Surid Bhav? That means very intimate friendship, close relationship with you. These very strong feelings rise up just by the touch of the sound of Sri Krishna's name. But that is applicable to those who are not committing any offense, not criticizing anyone, respecting everyone, not disobeying their guru, not deliberately chanting the holy names and committing sins and asking for worldly things. So, when this name is vibrated, niraparad, Mahaprabhu said, Taramadei Savashasta Nama Sankirtan Niraparad Nam Laile Pai Premadhan. There are 64 angas or practices of bhakti, beginning with Guru Padasrai, Diksha Guru Sevan, Saddhava Prita Shiksha Sadhumaganugaman. But out of all the practices of bhakti, Taramadde Savashastra, the best of all, is Nam Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy names. Niraparad Nam Lale Pai Prem Dhan. If you will chant Niraparad without committing any offense, like Tathavado Harinam Nikalpanam. Someone is telling the high glories of the name, and in your mind is whispering, I don't believe that. How is it possible? To think that the Vedas are exaggerating, to think that the glories of the holy name are imaginary, it's all offense. So if you are hearing the glories of the name and doubting, then this is Namapara. So the fruit does not come. So we have to give attention to this. Niraparad Nam Lale Pai Premadhan. If you chant, simply chant, without committing the 10 offenses to the holy name, you will attain the perfection of your life, you will attain Prem. So Harinam, this name is the greatest thing. What is the meaning of Nam? In Sanskrit, Nam comes from Nam Dhatu, the verbal root Nam. Nam means to, like a Namaha, means to bend down or to descend. So the word Namaha, Namaste, has come from Nam Dhatu in Sanskrit. So, Namayatiti Nama. When a tree becomes full of fruit, then the branches are heavy and it bows down. So that which fills you with the fruits of so many beautiful qualities, so many ecstatic emotions of love for Krishna, that causes you, because you know that Prem is the cause of humility. So when the fruits of Prem appear, then one feels very worthless and humble and bows down. So that which makes you bow down, being heavy with transcendental qualities and the fruit of Prem, is called Nama. Namayat iti Nama. Namayati ti Nama. Or that which makes Sri Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Rasik Shekhar, Shama Sundar of Goloka Vrindavan, come down and play in your heart. Namayatiti Nama. Nija balabachan surit sanatana Chita vihara navata Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, all glories to that Krishna who is the best friend of his dear devotees, Chitta Vihara Navata, who comes down and he plays in their hearts. So Namayatiti Nama, that person, that upon chanting which Krishna himself comes down and plays in your heart, is called Nam. Or Nam means, just Krishna has said, Yayatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyam. As they surrender to me, I reciprocate with them. So when the devotee is fully dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna, see, Krishna becomes fully dedicated to the lotus feet of that devotee. Nirapeksham munim shantam nirvaram samadarshanam anubrajamyaham nityam puyayat changrirenubi. See, Krishna said, my devotees, they never depend upon any worldly things. They're not worried about how they will live, what will happen tomorrow. Why? Because they depend on me. Nirapeksham. Munim, Shantam, they are peaceful, they are always remembering me in the core of their heart, remembering my pastimes. Navairam, they have no enemy. Even if someone will go against them, they only want good for that person. Like Jesus Christ. He is also here today. And Mary also. So, these are the qualities of the devotees. Samadarshanam. They see everyone equally. They have no prejudice against anyone. So Krishna said, for those persons, Anubrajami aham nityam, I always run behind, wherever they go, I'm running behind them. Why? Puja yatyangrirenubi. Krishna said, I want to take their foot dust to purify myself. In Bhagavad Gita, there, Arjuna said, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Majam Vibhu. O Krishna, you are Parabrahma, the Supreme Absolute Truth. You are Pavitram, supremely pure. So if Krishna is pure, why is Krishna saying, I'm running behind my devotees, taking the dust of their feet to purify myself? Why? This impurity is not material impurity. It is a state of love. If a person dies and they're in debt to someone, in their next life they'll have to come back and repay that debt. So to be in debt is a state of impurity. Understand? So in the same way, when the devotee is fully serving Krishna with love, then Krishna thinks, how can I reciprocate with him? I cannot. And therefore, as an atonement to purify himself of the debt to that devotee, he's taking their foot dust on his head. Therefore, this is Nam Prabhu. Namayati iti nama. That upon chanting which, see Krishna bows down to you. That which gives such a prem that Krishna himself feels indebted and becomes your servant. Smaragarla khandanam mama sirisi mandanam dehi para palavam udaram. Oh my dear devotee, be merciful to me and place your lotus feet upon my head. Krishna tells to his devotees in Madhura Rasa. This is Nam. Namayatiti Nama. So who will not chant this holy name? Tunde Tandamani Ratim Vitanute Tandavalika Labdaye Kama Kroda Kadambini Gatayate Kana Vadebas Priham Cheta Prangani Sangani Vijayate Savindriyane Kritim No Jane Janita Kiadviramrita Krishne Tivana Dvahi. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad said, I cannot express how much nectar, eternal sweetness is in these two syllables. Krishna. When these two syllables come together and they dance on my tongue, actually you don't chant the holy name. If you think I am chanting, then you are only making namaparad. You don't vibrate the name vibrates you. When we chant without offense, then the name is manifesting spontaneously and causing the tongue to dance. Tunde tandavani ratim vitanate tandavari labdhi. When we give up ahankar, aham mameti, it is the 10th offense to chant the holy name, holding on tightly to the conception of I am from Lithuania. I am male, female, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, whatever. Whatever is your identity, if you're holding on to this and chanting, this is namaparad. Stop. At once. Give up all these things at once. And take shelter of Nam Prabhu. Then he will come and dance on your tongue. At that time, Rupa Goswami is saying, when the holy name dances on my tongue, I feel one tongue is not enough. I want millions of tongues. Millions and millions. That is the true meaning of Guru Tattva. Guru is not a person who is trying to make disciples. Guru is trying to make gurus. He wants that all will develop love of God and share that with everyone. So when he's chanting the holy name, Nam is coming and dancing on his tongue. But one tongue is not enough. And so he's accepting some disciples. And when they become in tune with his heart through loving service, then the disciple's tongue becomes his tongue. And now he's chanting on through the disciple's tongue. By the blessing of Guru, Nam's appearing on the disciple. Now that devotee is dancing with thousands of devotees and hearing the holy name from thousands of tongues. Yes, yes, very nice. Tundei tandavini ratin pitanutai tandavi. I want thousands of tongues. And when the sound of the holy name goes in my ears, then I want millions and millions of ears. And when Nam Prabhu himself dances in the courtyard of my heart, at that time all the senses become inert. One becomes senseless. Then someone may think, oh, this Vaishnava, he stopped chanting. No. He's gone in samadhi, in trance. And internally, chanting and dancing is still going on. On the bank of Jamuna, with Radha and Krishna, Lalita, Vishaka, Chitratampak, Braj Gopis, Kirtan is still going. Once Mahaprabhu said to Rupa Goswami, oh, that verse I read of your poetry glorifying the name, can you recite that verse? I want my associates to hear it. Saurabh Damodar, Roy Ramananda, Srila Haridas Thakur, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Paramananda Puri. They were at Siddha Bakul in Jagannath Puri. So Rupa Goswami read this verse. When Haridas Thakur, Srila Haridas Thakur Namacharya heard it, he jumped up and began to dance. He said, Krishna Namera Mohima Sadhu Shastra Mukhi Jani Namera Madur Aichi Kaha Nahi Shuni. If you want to know the glories of Harinam, then you must hear the explanation of Shastra from the lips of a pure Vaishnava. Otherwise you will not understand. You can read again and again. No understanding coming. Srila Haridas Thakur said, you must hear the glories of the holy name from Shastra, from the lips of a pure Vaishnava. Namera Madhuri Aiche Kahan Nahi Shuni. There is no other way by which you can assimilate and develop profound conviction and experience of Namera Madhuri, the sweetness of the holy name. So Nam, Namayati, 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 Nama, who fills you with love, so you become heavy with fruits and you bow down to Krishna. Or who causes Krishna to come down and play in your heart. Or who causes Krishna, overwhelmed with love, to bow down with a desire to serve you, to free himself from the debt of love that he cannot repay. This is the potential of Harinam. Nam Prabhu ki Jai. In Srimad Bhagavatam, where Shukadev Goswami, he shares with us one ancient history he heard from Agastya Rishi to help us understand the glories of Harinam. Such a beautiful story. Who is somewhat familiar with the history, Upakyan of Ajamil? Raise your hand if you have heard of Ajamil. No? So most of you have heard. So I won't tell it in great detail, but some outline of the history I want to share with you. But I'd like to bring out some of the teachings, important teachings from this. Don't think that you know Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhusavasrai Pratisloke Prati Akare Nana Artakai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. As Krishna is unlimitedly great, Srimad Bhagavatam is unlimitedly great. As Krishna is the shelter of everyone in the entire universe, Srimad Bhagavatam is the shelter of everyone in the entire universe. Pratisloke Prati Akari Nana Artakai. And every verse does not have one meaning, has many meanings. Pratisloke, no, Prati Akari. No, not every verse. Every letter of Srimad Bhagavatam has many, many meanings. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatatanam Aswado Rasikai Saha. Srila Rupa Goswami said, one should relish the many meanings of Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of Rasik Vaishnavas, those who are tasting the sweet flavor of this Nigamakalpatro Galitam Palam Sukhamukad Amrita Drabasamyatam Pibat Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavaka. Those who are drinking this eternal nectar, hear from them and taste it again and again. So Ajamil, he was a young Brahmin man. He was staying with his parents in Kanyakubja in South India. And he lived a very pure life. He was very well behaved. Every day he was doing his austerities, Brahminical duties, performing fire sacrifices. One day he went into the forest. There in the forest he saw one prostitute. And she was meeting with a Sudra, a low caste man. And they were both drinking alcohol. They were intoxicated. And they were embracing each other. He saw it for a moment. And then he remembered the Shastra. Shastra said, don't look at any sense enjoyers. Param param jigamaso babasagarasya ahanta hanta bhakshna topya sadhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only to see the face of a sense enjoyer is like drinking poison. So he tried to look away, but it was too late. The poison he had drunk through the eyes. And so he went home, but the picture of what he saw stayed with him. And he tried to control his mind, but he could not. And slowly, slowly his desires became uncontrollable. So he invited her to be like the cleaner in his house. That was a disaster. So after some time, he had a relationship with her throughout his old mother and father. And he had a very young and beautiful and well-behaved wife also, through them all out. And he stayed with her, and he became a criminal. He began to lie and steal, kidnap people, burn down their houses. He became a gunda, dacoit, gangster. And in this way he passed many, many years, being very sinful. In the womb of that prostitute he had 10 children. And when he was about 88 years old, he was very attached to his youngest son, who was about 5. He had given the youngest son the name Narayan. And he was always calling his son, hey Narayan, come here. Narayan, sit in my lap. When he was eating, oh Narayan, taste this. Narayan, be quiet. Narayan, drink water. Narayan, 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 Narayan. All the time he was vibrating these syllables, 4 syllables, Narayana. And he was very attached to that child. when he was 88 years old, the last moment of his life came. He was lying in the bed. And, when people are about to die, that time they get a big surprise. They were thinking that this world that you can see is all that exists. But when the time of death comes, then you can discover that what you are seeing with your limited senses now is a very, very small portion of the entirety of reality. He saw from another dimension 3 very ugly looking figures who were deformed and very awkward in their movements, covered in hair with big teeth, and carrying ropes. And they came and they put the ropes around him, around his subtle body, and they were about to tear him, the subtle body, out from the take his soul and the subtle body out from the gross body. And he became terrified. At that time, feeling strong attachment to his child, he called, Narayana! And at once he saw a blinding light and 4 beautiful, shining persons, very young and fresh, full of joy, wearing beautiful garlands and golden ornaments, with lotus eyes. They immediately came there and cut the ropes, and he came back into his body. And then these 4, the shining transcendental persons and the 3 dark ferocious persons, they began to have a quarrel over what to do with him. And he was just watching. So 3 ugly persons, they were Yamadut, the messengers of Yamaraj, the messengers of death. So those who have not performed any devotional activities in their life, then at the end of their life, then the Yamadutas must come for them. Because no one who is controlled by the 3 gunas in this world can live without sinning. As Jesus said, let he who is without sin throw the first stone. Then everyone decide, okay. And they put down their stones. Because in this world, cannot avoid contamination. So they come, they collect everyone. But now for the first time in their life, they'd been stopped, they had been checked. And the 4 personalities who were shining and effulgent, they were the Vishnu Dutas, the messengers of Supreme Lord. The Vishnu Duta said, what are you doing? In this religious assembly, dharmic assembly, great adharma, irreligion is taking place today. Because an innocent man is being taken for a punishment. If you are really the representative of Dharmaraj, of Yamaraj, then you should know what is dharma and what is adharma. You should know who is fit to be punished, who is not fit to be punished. Can you tell us all of these things? So then the Yamaduts, they said, yes. Vaido Narayana Sakshat. The Vedas directly come from God. So those who are following the teaching of the Vedas, that is Dharma, they are not to be punished. And those who are going against the Dharma, they ought to be punished. So in this world, everyone is committing some sins, so we come for everyone. And we've come for him because he has spent many, many years of cruelty and vice. So he is suitable to be punished. So then, the Vishnu Dutas told them, you are quite wrong. Why? Sarvesham apyaghabatam idam evasu niskritam nama vyahanam Vishnu yatastad vishayamati. Now, hear it very carefully. It means Sarvesham apyaghabatam. There are many persons who have committed sins like setting fire to someone's house, stealing someone's wife, stealing gold, murdering a woman or a Brahmin or a cow. So many different terrible sins are there. However, Savesham apyagavatam idam eva suniskritam. There is one way you can become completely free. You can, niskritam means atonement. You can become free from all karmic reactions in a moment. What is that? Nama Vyaharanam Vishnu. Simply by uttering the name of God. Vishnu, Narayan, Krishna, Govinda, Gopal. Yatastad Vishayamati. By which one becomes Tad Vishayamati, your mati becomes absorbed. Now this verse has two meanings. One is, if you chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The name is so attractive. Krishna means attractive. This name is so attractive and powerful. It will pull your consciousness towards Krishna and you'll become tanmay, absorbed in Krishna. And this verse has another meaning. Yatastad Vishayamati means that when you utter the syllables of the name of Krishna, even though you are not perhaps concentrated, you are not absorbed, but Krishna becomes absorbed in thinking of you. How wonderful is that? You know, you chant and you try to control your mind, but it's difficult. Mind wanders here and there. But as long as you are chanting with some affection for Krishna, then Krishna, Yatastad Vishayamati, he becomes absorbed in you. How is it possible? The reason it's possible is because the name of Krishna is non-different from his Swarup. Nama Swarup Vigraha Tin Ekarup. The name of Krishna, the deity of Krishna, and Krishna's own spiritual form, dancing, playing and singing in Goloka Vrindavan, Tin Ekarup, they are one. So when you utter this name, Krishna cannot help it. And whatever he's doing, his mind goes to you. So you don't worry about doing smaranam, leelas, remembering the pastimes of Krishna. With a contaminated mind, you cannot remember the pastimes of Krishna. With a contaminated mind, you can only remember your own pastimes. Material things, kalpana, imagination. But chant Krishna's name with strong faith, and Krishna will be absorbed in remembering you. Krishna thinks, this person has called my name, and therefore I must give him complete protection for his whole life and forever in the future. This is the power of the Nam. The Vishnu Duta said, Na nishkrita udita brahmavadivis tatavishu tatyagavan bratadivihi yata harinama pada udarita istad uttama sloka gunopalambakam. For different types of sins, the scriptures have described different types of atonement rituals. And some of those rituals are very demanding. For certain sins, you have to follow a Vedic ritual that lasts for 12 years in order to counteract the karmic reaction. However, the Vishnu Dutes are saying that Yatahari Nama Pada Udaritais. If someone will just utter the pada, the syllables, Udaritais, means just utter the syllables of the name, then one will be more purified than all of these types of Vedic atonements. And there's a reason for that. Tat uttama shloka gunopalambakam. Because what to speak of Shuddhanam? I'm not speaking about Shuddhanam, the pure name, which will appear in the stage of Bhav, along with Bhav. Shuddhanam, Vishuddhanam, Shuddha Sattva, Visheshatma. But prior to that, when one is chanting the Nam Abhas, Gunopalambakam, Nam Abhas has the power to cause the appearance, a spurti within your heart of Krishna's form and Krishna's sweetness, His qualities, His opulence, His beauty, and gradually His associates and pastimes. Even Nam Abhas will begin to reveal the devotional realm within your heart. And this is why it's more powerful than doing any kind of atonement. Because if you do a karma, a bad karma, then you do atonement. What is this atonement? It's also a karma. It has nothing to do with God. You do something wrong and you do another karma to counteract the bad karma. So you are not changing your tendency to do karma in this world. Your heart is not being turned around towards the service of the Lord. But if you just utter the syllables of Krishna Nam without offense, then it can cause, even for a moment, a spurti of Krishna's form and qualities. Then your soul starts to look towards Krishna. This is complete atonement. So the Yamadutas, Vishnudutas, they said, if someone chants the holy name, then even in their dreams, they cannot be touched by the messengers of death. So this is a most wonderful thing. The power, what to speak of Shuddhanam, even the power of Nama Bas will awaken your realization. Yada baso pudvan kavaleta bhavadvanta vibhuvo drisham tattvandanam api bhakti dishatim pranayanim. Janas tasyodatam jagati bhagavan nama tarane katika nirvakta kahya mahimanam prabhavati. Rupa Goswami said, oh, what learned poet is capable of glorifying the extent of the holy name when even the dim light of Nam Abhas will destroy all ignorance and push one into a vision and realization of the divine realm of devotional service. Vishnuduta said, Sankityam parihasam va, stobam helam eva va, vaikuntanama grahanam asheshagam haram vidu. If a person tells the name of Krishna, even Sanket to indicate something else. In other words, they're not calling Krishna like Ajamil was calling his son. Well, like in India, anywhere you go, then everywhere they're using some names of Krishna. Like Vishnu cigarette shop, Govinda's bicycle repair shop. Right? So people are saying all the time, oh, I'm going to Vishnu's to get some cigarettes. In this way, they're not talking about God, but somehow or other they utter the syllables of the name. It's Nam Abhas. And their sins are destroyed. If they repeat, slowly, a hankering for Krishna will appear. So that is called Sanket. Sanket Parihas means for a joke. If someone says, oh, who goes to the Harinam here in Vilnius on Friday evening? My pranams to you again and again. I give my pranam and do your parikrama and offer arti also. You are my pran. You give me life. I will die if I don't see you. Thank you. Sadhu. Who doesn't go to Harinam in Vilnius on Friday night? Oh, fire on you. Diktan. You are condemned. Alas. Hari bifle janama goinu. You are wasting this precious human form of life. Next Saturday, I want to see, next Friday night, I want to see all of you on the Harinam. And I will ask Shatikul Prabhu to send me a report to make sure that you're all there. So I'll know. Don't think I won't know. I'll check up. Don't forget to send me the report. If you go on the Sankirtan and any ignorant person is wandering there, drunk even, and they see you and they laugh, ha ha ha, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, for a joke, that person becomes liberated. This is called parihas, joking. Stobham. Stobham means to keep time in a musical composition. In classical singing, sometimes you have to sing a tune and then there's a gap in the music before you sing the next line. So one of the traditions is that the singers, they sing some name of God in the middle to fill up that space. Sita Kamala Kucha Mandala So then they'll insert some names of God to fill in the space. Sita Kamala Kucha Mandala Hari Sita Kamala Kucha Mandala Drita Kundala Drita Kundala Kalita Lalita Banamala Jayo Jayo Devari Hare Hare Jayo Jayo. Like this, they throw in some holy names to fill in the space in the music. This goes Tobha. So Sankityam Parihasam Bas Toban Helena. Helena means with neglect. Just casually without thinking, someone says Hari. Because in India, Hari just means like God. When something happens, they go Hari Hari. Oh God, oh my God. Like so this, but neglectful. They're not really thinking of God. It's just a habit. So Vaikuntha Namagrahanam Asesahagam Ahram Vidu. If someone chants the name incidentally in any of these ways, it destroys unlimited sins more than you can possibly commit in the past, in the present, and all your future sins also. One name today. So it's most wonderful. Now, the glory of the name destroying sins, this is not actually the glory of the name. Once there was a Namahata program in the house of Govardhan and Hiranya Majumdar in the village of Adisaptagram. That is the father and uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami. So many sadhus came there, they were sitting, they were discussing, and the topic was, what is the glory of the holy name? So some were saying, the holy name destroys your sins. And someone else was saying, the holy name gives liberation. So Srila Haridas Thakur was there. He knows, he has realization of the glories of the holy name. He said, my dear brothers, actually these are not the glories of the holy name. Only Nam Abhas, the semblance of the holy name, destroys all sins and gives liberation. The glory of Nam Prabhu is that he gives you prema, awakens pure love for Krishna. That means gives you your beautiful spiritual form in which you enter into Vrindavan and serve the divine couple. This is really the glory of the holy name, not liberation or anything. So, since destroying sins and giving liberation is really not the true glory of the name, why is the Srimad Bhagavatam telling us this story of Ajana? This is the question. Because Ajamil, his sins were destroyed and he was liberated. So if the Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all scriptures, the best scripture glorifying the name, why is Srimad Bhagavatam telling us this story which actually is not really revealing the true glories? The answer is no. This story reveals many secrets about the holy name. After the Vishnu Doots had corrected the Yamadoots disappeared. And Ajimal, He wanted to talk to the Vishnu Dutas. He went, but he could not bring any syllables out. Why? Because he was not qualified to dadati pratigranati kuyamakiti prachiti bhunte bhojate chaiva sadvida pratilakshana. To open your heart and speak with the Vaishnava. This is exchange of love. But he was not yet qualified to interact with such pure personalities. So he tried to speak, but he could not, and they disappeared. Sadhu Sangha is very powerful. And astonishing. If we have pride, if we have antagonistic mood, if we're against Krishna or the holy name, or against devotees in any way, when we come into the presence of a sadhu, we will feel some fear. This is the sign that you're in sadhu sangha. You are relaxed, you have no fear, you are very easygoing with everyone. But if you have some mood which is anartha, obstacles which are against bhakti, when you come in the company of a sadhu, you will start to feel uncomfortable. And some fear will be. You cannot speak. This is illustrated in Chaitanya Bhagavat. You know, Keshav Kashmiri, he was very learned, he had no fear of anyone. When he came in the company of Nimai Pandit, he began to freeze. He could not even remember the Sanskrit grammar. So, because in this way, Ajimo could not speak and the Vishnu Dutas disappeared. But their association just for a few moments and hearing the glories of the name from them was so powerful, it changed his life. And he decided to give up his house and that prostitute and wicked ways. He condemned himself, he became filled with anutap, remorse, repentance. What have I done with my life? I was very cruel to my parents and my former wife and children. And I gave pain and problems to so many people. Alas, alas, I am very wicked and fallen and sinful. And he lamented. He repented for his past activities. And he left everything. And he went to Haridwar. And there he took shelter of a Vishnu temple. And he began to chant the holy names with Shraddha, with faith. And after a short time, he saw those same four personalities. They came back on a beautiful Viman, a flower airplane. And he got onto that airplane with them and he went to Vaikuntha. And he's there right now. He's very happy. But we are still here. The Yamadutas, when they went back to their master Yamaraj, they said, we thought that you are death and you are all powerful and there's no one superior to you. So, today we were stopped. Why is that? Yamaraj said to them, the secrets of Dharma are very deep and very few persons understand them. Who knows the secrets of Dharma? Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Pralada Janako Vishnu Bale Vayasaki Bayam. Yamaraj said, only the Mahajans, there are 12, how many Mahajans are there? How many?
12.
Anyone else? No, there are 15. There are 15. 15 Mahajans. You are thinking there are 12, but one of the 12 are the four Kumaras. Right? So we call them the 12 Mahajans, but one of them are the four Kumaras, so that's actually 15. So he said, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Kapil Dev, Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj is saying, and myself. We are the 12 Mahajans. And we know the secrets of Dharma. Others don't know. You know, in the Vedas, there are so many parts of the Vedas which have been manifested by Yajnavalkya Rishi, Jainini Rishi, like Yajnavalkya Smriti and so on. He said, these sages, they're very learned, but they don't know the secret of Dharma. They don't know. What is the secret of Dharma? Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmrita bhakti yogo bhagavati thannama grahanadivihi. The supreme dharma for all in the world, which is very confidential, is bhakti yoga. And this bhakti yoga begins with the vibration of the syllables of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has expressed the deep glories of the holy name in Shikshastakam. In the first verse, he gives an overview of the different stages of development that one experiences by chanting. And then he expounds upon each of the 7 stages which are described in the first verse. Each stage is described in 7 shlokas. So the second verse describes Nam Makari. Do you know? You know, yes. Please stand up and tell us the second verse in Sanskrit and just brief translation and meaning.
Me?
Yes.
Can I stand?
Yes, please stand. Yes, no, please stand. Stand here. Say Om Jnanatim Marandasya. Remember the lotus feet of your Gurudev. And you should not speak. You should think, oh, your Gurudev will speak through you.
Om Jnanatim Marandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nam Makari Bahuta Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishe Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamake Durdaiva Mitrisha Mihajani Nanuraga. Lithuanian English. English.
Okay, in English so that I can also learn. Otherwise I will be bereft of the nectar.
Nam Namakari Bahutani Sarvashaktis. Oh my Lord, you have many names, your own names. And all those names you invested all your potencies. There are no strict rules and regulations, no time, strict time for chanting like Gayatri mantras, and no other considerations in chanting those holy names. But Bhagavan Mamate, you put all your mercy into those names. But Durdaiva Midrisha Mihajani Nanuraga, but this is my bad luck or my bad fate,
Fortune.
Yeah, my bad fortune. Yes, that I have no anurag, I have no attraction to those holy names.
Yes. I have so much love for Shatakul Prabhu because he's like a mother taking care of all the devotees here, all the new devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Oh my Lord, you have many unlimited names. Some names express your opulence. Some names express your sweetness. Nija Sarva Shaktis. But all your opulence, all your sweetness, all your beauty, all your power, all your Shaktis, are there in the name. Who are the Shaktis of Krishna? Radharani, Lalita, Vishaka. The gopis of Vrindavana, he said, need your Shaktis. All your Shaktis are there in the name. Tatra pita niyamata smarnena kalaha. There's no niyam, strict rule in regard to the time. You can chant any time. You can chant in the day, in the night, in the evening, when you are walking, when you are sitting, when you are lying down, when you are dancing, when you are fighting with your wife. Any time you can chant. There's no rule at all. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan. Oh my Lord, you are so etadrishi. In such a way you are kind that you allow us to easily approach you. But Durdaiva mitrashami ha nanuraga. I am so Durdaiva, unfortunate, that I have no anurag. That means I am not feeling eagerness. I am not feeling anxiety to the name, to chant the holy name. So there are three very important points here in this verse spoken by Mahaprabhu. First of all, the power of the name is not in your mind. It's in the name. That is called Vastu Shakti. Vastu Shakti. Buddhi na apekshate. That which does not depend on your buddhi, your intelligence or understanding, is called a Vastu Shakti. For example, Vastu Shakti is there in fire. Whether you understand fire or not, you touch it, it will burn you. Vastu Shakti is there in medicine. You don't understand biology or chemistry or pharmacology, but if you take the medicine, it will still cure you because the power is there in the medicine. It's not a placebo, it's not in your mind. So first thing, Mahaprabhu is saying, don't depend on your own power. When you are chanting, you are not karta, you are not the doer. You will not imagine the form of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna. Nam Prabhu is karta, the name will do everything. Believe in him, trust in him. Because Nam has Vastu Shakti. This is the first teaching. What is the first teaching? Vastu Shakti. The Vastu Shakti of Nam. Second teaching. Durdaivam, misfortune, actually means I have committed many offenses. This is a misfortune. If you are lucky you have not committed any offenses, then Nam Abbas will manifest its influence. And that influence is Anurag. Anurag. Mahaprabhu is saying this in a poetic way. In other words, if you have committed Namaparad and you are committing offenses to the holy name, then when you chant, Durdaivam Idrashami Ha Janinanu, no Anurag, no eagerness. And conversely, if you be touched by only the Abbas of the name, then you feel Anurag, eagerness. You feel a love rising in your heart. Krishna, Krishna, where are you? Where are you? I cannot live without you. How can I find you? Where can I go? What can I do? I want to serve you. This is the Anurag, Utkanta, eagerness. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, if we will chant the name without offense, the touch of Namabas will create this eagerness. Just like if you have wood and you rub the sticks together, fire will come out. So similarly, when this name rubs against your heart, then this eagerness, the feelings of separation, Vira Agni, the fire of separation from Krishna will appear naturally, automatically. You cannot do it yourself, you cannot imagine it, you cannot artificially imitate it. But Nam will do everything. This is what Mahaprabhu is saying. So, by this verse he's telling us, Durdaivam, please avoid Nam Aparad. What is the second teaching of this verse?
Please avoid Nam Aparad.
Yes. And the third teaching, if you just chant without offense, then you eagerness, spontaneous eagerness will come. Anurag. That is the third teaching, Anurag. What is the third teaching?
Anurag.
Anurag. Yes. Now, what happens if you have committed offenses and you're not feeling Anurag? So that is the fourth teaching that Mahaprabhu is giving in this verse. Mahaprabhu in this verse is lamenting. He's repenting. Alas, alas, I am so unfortunate, I am such a great offender that I am not feeling Anurag. So, if you want to become free from offenses, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us, you lament for that. Lamentation is called anutap. That is anutap means repentance. In Sanskrit, anu means afterwards or following, and tap means burning. So what is repentance? Repentance is the burning that we feel after we've done something wrong. That is anutap. You see? So the last teaching in this verse is anutap. Anutap. So by this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is opening the door for us to have a divine experience, a divine encounter with the holy names. If you can hold this teaching of the second verse of Shikshastakam in your heart, then the door to a divine encounter with Nam Prabhu will be open for you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has opened it for you. So what is the first teaching? Vastu Shakti. Second teaching. Don't commit aparad. Third teaching. Anurag will awaken by a touch of Namabhas. Fourth teaching. Anutap. If it's not happening, then you speak this verse and regret for this. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goim Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Bhajiya Janiya Shuniya Bishakwanu, like Srila Narottam Das Thakur said, I knowingly took poison, I wasted my life. Gorapahu na bhajyamanu Prema Ratana Dana Helaya Harainu. Srila Narottam Das Thakur said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga, came to this world and gave the jewel of the holy name. He gave me the wish-fulfilling jewel of Prem, but only due to negligence I have lost it. If someone gave you a diamond worth $100 million and then you, by negligence, you dropped it in the street somewhere and you cannot find it, then how will you feel? Think, how will you feel? Not so good. Not so good at all. How you'd be cursing yourself again and again. So, Mahaprabhu is saying, Nam is much more valuable than millions and millions of dollars. So, but if you want to attain this treasure, you'll have to do the anutap. Criticize yourself again and again. And when that lamentation is coming, that is the sign that Krishna's mercy is coming. Sridhar Swami said, Kritanutapo Kripa Nimittaha. The nimitta, that means the cause of anutap, is kripa. When in your life you repent and feel regret that you have not taken devotional life seriously, that you have not dedicated yourself to the name, and that for a long time you have committed many offenses to the name, when you begin to feel that regret, that is the sign that kripa has come. Kripa nimeto nutapaha. Kripa nimeto nutapaha. And if we're not feeling that lamentation, that means there's no kripa in our life. Krishna is like a desire tree, giving mercy to everyone. His mercy is raining everywhere. But we put up the umbrella to make sure that it does not touch us. Hmm? So when we begin to lament for this, then we begin to become wet with the mercy of Krishna. But the good buddhi, good intelligence to do this does not come until Nam Tattvavid Guru, a teacher of Nam, who has realized Nam, will teach us how to chant properly. Therefore it said, Samsara Dava Nalali Daloka Tanaya Karnya Ganaka. Krishna's mercy is like an ocean, but the water of that ocean comes to us in the form of Nam Tattvavid Guru. So all these teachings are there in this history of Ajamil. How? Now we'll try to explain this. These points. First, Vastu Shakti. Ajamil was not calling God, he was calling his son. But still the name had effect. Still that name destroyed all his sins, past, present and future. And don't think that when he was about to die and he called Narayan, that name destroyed his sins. No. How were his sins destroyed? When his wife gave birth to that child, and he thought, oh my dear wife, what shall we call our new baby? And they thought about it. Then he said, let's call him Narayan. That first time he said Narayan, that name destroyed all of his sins, past, present and future. Yes, don't doubt it. I can hear some of you inside are whispering. What is Prem Prayojan saying? He is a fanatic. No, all of our acharyas have said this. Asheshagam haram vidu. Unlimited sins destroyed by one namabhas. So then, after that, for the next 5 years, he continued to sin. So then someone can say, wait a minute, if you have no sins, then you don't do any sins. Because it's sins that make you sin again and again. But the answer is this, it's not like that. Namabhas can destroy all your sins, but you continue to behave in the same fallen way. Why? Because example is given, if there's a rope, and you set fire to that, you put gasoline on the rope and a match, and goes up in flames. Slowly, slowly it burns and then the fire goes out. And when you look, you can see the shape of the black burnt rope is still there. The shape is there. But if you touch it, it will crumble to ash, and it can no longer bind anything at all. So in the same way, when Namabhas destroys all your karma, but still your life goes on the same. But it is only not, you have no karma, it's only the shape of that karma. So even though Ajamil continued to sin, his sins were not binding him. And it was not until the moment of death that he discovered that the Yamadutas could not take him, because the Vishnu Dutas came and told him, he's completely free from all sins. This is the Dharma, the supreme Dharma, the Nam Tattva, that only the Mahajans understand. And even great rishis like Yajnavalkya Rishi don't understand. Nam Tattva. So, how did this happen? Because Vastu Shakti. Nam has its own power. It was not dependent on the consciousness or state of mind of Ajamil. Now, the next point. You have to become free of all offenses. Now, someone may say, listen, Ajamil, when he was young, he was very pure. He was a Brahmin. He was doing yagyas every day. So when you can't do yagyas without saying the name of God. How is it possible? Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Gayatri Chanda Asi Vishnu Devata Upanayane Vidyoga Om Tad Vishnu Parama. You have to say so many mantras, Swaha, again and again. Even if you do Karma Kanda, there's still some names of Vishnu will be there. So, why is it that after many years of being sinful, and he gave his son the name Narayan, that this name destroyed all of his sins, Why didn't the names of Vishnu he was chanting before destroy his sins? It's a very valid question. So the answer is this. He was doing karma kanda yagyas. So, because he didn't know about bhakti, or he'd heard something about bhakti, of course, because he was a Brahmin, so he knows something. But he was putting the emphasis on karma kanda. And he thought that bhakti was just like another karma. So one of the 10 offenses to the holy name, dharma brata tyagahutadisava shubhakriya samyam api pramada. Even if inattentively you think that the performance of dharma and karma and vratas and fasting and yagyas and austerity is equal to the chanting of the holy name, that is an offense to the holy name. So when he was younger and very sattvic in his lifestyle and following dharma, that is worldly dharma of doing his duties as a Brahmin, though he was chanting the names quite often, because he was subordinating Bhakti Devi to karma, therefore his chanting of the name was all namaparad, and therefore it was not having the powerful effect that namabhas has. He was chanting namaparad. So here the teaching, Durdaivam, I am so unfortunate. I'm not feeling the effect because I'm making offenses, is taught here in this history of Ajamil. Now later, when he gave up all of his sattvic activities, he gave up all of his dharma, became sinful. He was a liar, he was a cheater, he was a meat eater, he was a womanizer, he was getting intoxicated, doing illicit sex, gambling. He broke all the regulative principles, right? But at that time, when by good fortune, he called his son Narayan, that was not namaparad, because he was not subordinating, he was not consciously or unconsciously subordinating bhakti to karma. And this is why Yamaraj said to the Yamadutas, listen, not many people know the secret of dharma. Because there's this very ironic situation that when he was very pure and sattvic in his life, he wasn't really observing the highest dharma. He was committing offenses to the highest dharma. But when he lived a life of complete sin and debauchery, he was not committing offenses to the highest dharma. And therefore the power of namabhas worked in his life. Who can understand this? It's extremely profound. So only the Mahajans, Swayambhu, Naradashavu, they know this. Bhakti Yogo Bhagavati, Tannama Grahanadipi, the supreme dharma is bhakti, and it begins with the chanting of the Holy. So Durdaivam, this teaching is there. Then, very wonderful, Anurag. How is that teaching here? Our acharyas, like Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they have explained that Ajamil had intense affection for his youngest son. Really intense affection. So much so that when he was faced with death and the ugly Yamadutas came and tied him up to drag him away, his heart was just saying, Narayan. So the secret here is this, that when you repeat Nam Abhas, because every day he was, Narayan come here, Narayan eat this, Narayan shut up. He was saying Narayan, Narayan again and again. That the repetition of Namabhas awakens Anurag, a strong feeling of attachment. But he was in such a stage that when he was saying Narayan to call his son, the Namabhas was already starting awakening his attachment. But because he was in ignorance, he thought that this attachment, which was actually for Narayan, was for his son. Understand? So the Vastu Shakti of Nam, no, just the glimpse of that the first rays of the sunlight of the Nam in the form of Namabas already begin to stir up feelings of attachment in your heart. And that's why he was so attached to his son. It wasn't really to his son, it was to Narayan, but it was superimposed upon his son. So at the time of great danger and fear and terror, that attachment was the strongest thing he was feeling. So Anurag, the Vastu Shakti of Nam for those who don't commit aparad begins to awaken strong feelings of affection. Then Anuta. After the Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas disappeared, then you can see in Srimad Bhagavatam how he criticized himself. I have wasted my life, I am most wretched, I am most fallen. He was doing the Anutap. That's the sign that the mercy of the Lord had appeared in his heart. And another teaching here, which is in the verse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this teaching of Ajamil, both. Not in the words of the verse, Nam Namakari Bahuda, not in the words, but in the Dhwani, in the suggestion. Dhwani means the suggestion. The implication of the verse is that this repentance and this eagerness and giving up the offenses to the name only comes about by sadhu sangha. So because Ajamil had briefly the association of the associates of God, the Vishnu Duts, it changed his life. And therefore, leaving all things, he went to a holy place, Haridwar, and took shelter of the name and chanted with Shraddha, and the result was he again had sadhu sangha in the form of Vishnu Duts, and he went to the spiritual world. Gaur Premanande! So in this way, our most beautiful and beloved Srimad Bhagavatam has given profound teachings of the glories of the holy name. Not just about mukti and karma, destroying sins, but about the power of the name to awaken love, and how this comes to us when we have the association of real sadhus. And Mahaprabhu has encapsulated all of these teachings in one verse of Shikshastakam. Then after that, more confidential teachings come. More confidential teachings of the glories of the holy name we want to say tomorrow. Okay? What time is the program tomorrow?
4 o'clock. 5? Yes, 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. And where is it?
It's Geltona Sofa Studio, Черновая.
So please, not here. Don't come here tomorrow, please.
Yra eventas Facebook'e, tai ten vat yra visa informacija apie tai.
So please come tomorrow. Don't be late. Be on time like Shatakul Prabhu. Try to follow his example, and then you'll be very good devotees.